There we are.
I'm still live.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Paranormal Live Monday with myself, Simon, Luke, Tim, and
Right.
poor old Darren is back in hospital again. But, you know, get well soon. And we send lots of healing for all of us and everybody that watches this live feed. Please send Darren lots of healing. We are. And he get well soon. And we'll see him back out on the road when he's well and better again. Tonight, I don't think we've got any announcements to make at the moment. We're going to keep it brief because Darren's going to keep the live feed open till about 5 to 9. Then we're going to call it a night there. And we have obviously Luke Sturgis. We have Simon from Paranation, the ghost event. And so what we will do is we'll go over to Simon because they had a tremendous ghost hunting on Saturday night at Cogs Manor Farm with Tim, Luke, and Simon. So if you want any questions or want to ask us anything or whatever, please contact us, leave a message, and we'll try and get back to you. And we'll watch the feed. We thank you for coming in on a Monday night. It's difficult sometimes, but we appreciate everybody that comes in and listens to us waffle on about nothing and laughing. But we are a good group, and we do. So what we'll do, we'll go over to Simon, and he'll explain about the location and where they were Saturday night. All yours, Simon.
Good evening, everybody. Saturday night. It was sadly Darren and Angela were, Dan was unwell and Angela was where she should be with Darren. And we made our way up to the other side of Oxford, a little place called Witney. We went to Cogs Manor Farm. It was a bit wet. It was rainy and drizzly, but that didn't dampen our spirits. It turned out to be an absolutely amazing venue, much bigger than I expected. Lots of rooms, over 3 floors. You had the ground floor. You also had the first floor of all the bedrooms. You had the attic, which I think the attic alone had 3 or 4 rooms up there. We went outside to the dairy. We also had a little kitchen area outside, in another little room. And we had one large barn and one smaller barn. And there was it was a lot bigger than I thought. Lots and lots of rooms to look round. We started off in a base room, which was really lovely. It's all red and dark and very oldie-woldy. It's an actual museum. And the thing I liked about it was that every single room you went in was kept in character to the house. Nothing had been like overly modernized or painted white or anything like that. Everything was very kept very original. We had Tim was there, Luke was there. We had the newbies as well. We had lots of our regulars as well.
Nice.
Lots of people were hardened ghost hunters. A guy called Stuart there with his partner Tracy. That was their 180th ghost hunt at Cogs Manor. Very experienced ghost hunters. Everyone seemed to chip in. Everyone did their own thing, and it turned out to be really, really good. Lots of people got some really good stuff. I think I've just been listening before I came onto here. Just been listening to a voice that I think Cheryl caught, which said, I think Gemma said, can you say something for us? And it said, I can't. So that was a very good catch. Still going through my footage. The evening just went. We did 8 till 2, and the evening just absolutely flew. Love to take everyone back. There's gardens as well out the back, but it's a little bit drizzly. We could get around to the barns and that, but you wouldn't really want to stand out. And also because it was dark, I reckon go back in the summer when it's a bit lighter in the evening. And the gardens, there's ancient apple trees in there. Really, really good. We had I think it's got to be one of the top venues this year. We went into kitchen. I think Tim was with me for some part of the evening. With Karen and Emma. Went into kitchen where there's K2 meter, and it was kept on flashing up to red. I said, just make one green light, and it went down to one green light. So I said, can you flash up to red for yes? And answered some questions. Are you a cook? Yes, right up to red. And I said, could you go back to one green light, back down to one green light? You know, did you used to like to cook like beef and lamb? Right up to red again. And I said, one green light, down to one. I've never seen anything
No,
in
it's brilliant.
K2. Tried to do glass moving, didn't really get much glass moving in there. But the K2, I don't think I've ever had a K2 interact that well with anything that we've done before. We did loads, Tim, didn't we? Absolutely loads. And with Luke, we did absolutely loads. Up in the attic, it did some drawing up there. Did a bit of Ouija board up
Ouija
there.
board as well.
Did you get much contact on the board?
I don't think anything. I don't think we really got anything that we could tell a story with, but there was like little bits and
It
pieces.
moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it moved around. It moved around, but there was nothing, just random letters really. But yeah, it was good.
Do you think it was too modern for them to understand?
Possibly, or it could have been a child.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you asked how old, it said come up to 3, didn't it?
Yeah.
It went to 3. Yeah.
And did you have your laser grid up at all, Simon? Do you see any shadows or?
We had somebody's laser grid. Mark Ricketts was there. He was there.
Oh, right, nice.
With Fee.
Yeah.
I think I did the laser grid upstairs in one of the bedrooms with him. We had the music box go off as well. That went off on its own a couple of times.
Nice.
Upstairs on where the bedrooms were, we heard footsteps. There was a few of us up there. I think I was up there with Luke. We heard some footsteps moving about in the corridor. I think Luke was up there with Gemma and Cheryl and Ian a bit earlier.
That's right,
you
yeah.
got good stuff, didn't you?
There's a growl, I think, yeah. I think like a growl, like a weird sort of groaning noise.
And did you go and see where it was, Luke, or was it in the room, or where was it coming from?
In the room, I think. I think it was in the room or the corridor.
And what was in the room? Simon was saying it's a museum. So was there artifacts in the room?
It was like, I think there was. I can't remember now what was in there. It
was more sort of that one was a bit empty, wasn't it? At the top of the stairs on the left. It had like a table and a chair and a couple of other bits in, but nothing, you know. Up in the attic, they had lots of like artifacts up there. There was quite a funny stuffed toy things which made stuff with beards, and they were quite funny, weren't they? We had a bit of a laugh over them.
They're laughing badly again.
It was just really good. I'd definitely like to go back and take everybody back again.
Yeah.
Did you do the human pendulum, or?
Do you know? We didn't.
No.
We didn't do the pendulum this time because we just everyone seemed quite happy to just go off and do their own experiments.
Nice.
And, we had Shelley and her group. They went off and they got their own little group going. They went off and did their own things. I sort of poke my head in when they're in the dairy, see what they were getting. I think they had a few things going. Ian was, and I don't know if you were there, Luke, but they're in the barn.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Little ping pong ball down on the floor.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, they put got video of it, and they said, "Oh, something like, can you move the ball or something?" The ball just moves.
Nice.
And they had a friendly cat there as well, a real cat. Which was that was quite friendly. But yeah, and they had some pigs, and they had a goat and some other animals there. But
did you have the writing planchette out? Do you have any luck with that?
Yeah, that was up in the loft. We tried it a few times. To be fair, I don't think I even did anything in the base room. That was such a lovely oldie room. But I don't think I even did anything. Did you do anything in there, Tim?
Yeah. We got a lot of readings on the K2, like maxing out again. That and Karen done a little bit in there on her own, all on her own. Got a few names come up. I got an EVP, and it said Cogs in the EVP towards the end when Emma was asking questions. You can clearly hear Cog like that. Cog. It goes. Yeah.
That's a good contact, good EVP then. Was that in response to a question?
Yeah, Emma was asking the questions and I was just doing the recording. I can't remember what the question was now, but you could tell it was different. Do you know what I mean? It's clearly.
Yeah.
Just saying the name of the place. That's what it sounded like to me.
It tends to, when you get like what they call a disembodied voice, it tends to be in 2 syllables. You know, it's never
that's what it was.
a clear hello. That. It's a hello, a hello, like that. You seem to get more contact like that, and then you sort of put it, when you hear it, you can make out it says hello, or like you say, you know, they often come through in 2 syllables rather than one solid one, which is interesting, really, isn't it?
That's what it did. Yeah.
And what else did you get, Tim? What else did you?
I think the spirit ball was, because I've never really done that before. I've always been a bit wary, but you know, Julie showed us the way, and it was brilliant. But although there wasn't anything that came out specific, the planchette was moving around quite a lot. For my first time, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it? When it starts to move, it's quite an interesting thing, isn't it? Because it doesn't move how you think it's going to move, does it?
No, and we was hardly touching it. You know.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And where else did you go, Tim, in the house? Did you go to all the rooms? Did you wander around?
Yeah. We went down. We stayed down in the washroom for ages. Just me, Karen, and Emma. And I got an SLS on the iPad. I got a hit on that. But the 2 girls, I can't remember. They've got loads of equipment. I can't remember their names now. Two girls. South African girl. They got loads of stuff in there.
They did really
well.
they
got a lot of stuff.
They were obviously hardened ghost hunters then.
They come up on the train from London.
Oh, did they? Oh, blimey.
Yeah.
Where'd they come from?
Yeah.
London.
They come on the train from London and then I'm not sure where is a train station in Whitney, Karen. Can't hear me, she's got her headphones on. Well, I don't know where the train station was, but they got a taxi from the train station to Cogs and then back again to the train station.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
That was good then.
Fair way.
Hardened ghost hunters, eh?
Yeah.
Well, people do travel a long way, don't they, to do a venue that's like got that sort of history. People will travel 2, 3, 4, 5 hours just to be there, you know. So it's not surprising that someone's come from London to Oxford or Oxfordshire, you know, to go on a venue like that. You know, it's quite what I've seen the pictures of. It's quite a spectacular place. You know what I saw.
It's fabulous. Yeah, fabulous. But it felt comfortable in there, though, didn't it? There was no horrible atmospheres at all, I don't think.
No, I think
was nice and relaxed.
Family members or staff like the cook. I don't think there's anything. But apparently, someone told me, I can't remember. It might be Mark said that it was also used as one of these houses where, you know, for like people that had been ladies that had been widowed, them and their children used to go there.
Yeah, it did. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was quite interesting.
As like a hotel type thing or a respite or
maybe like a respite type thing, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's just the whole place was. There were so many rooms that I think we had, I don't know, about 24 people. So it wasn't like overly crowded or anything.
Yeah.
It was the right amount for that venue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and you know, everybody's just sort of like seemed to be happy, because I think everybody that came had very good ghost hunting experience in the past. And the caretaker, David, he was on site. And you know what it's like when you go to new venues, not quite sure how they're going to take you or how it's going to go. But he was really relaxed, really lovely man, really helpful, left us to it most of the evening. He went to his little caretaking little room, which is by the across the yard by the barn. There was a little toilet block as well. I think, if you go back in the summer, just before it gets dark, you'll also be able to experience the beautiful gardens. But it was just, there was more rooms than you could have imagined there would have been. Even off the kitchen, there was like a little corridor with a little office room, and then the washing room on it. It was just, there was just so much to it. And then there was like another room the other end where they stored like the food and the cold meat. There was another room for that. It was just room after room after room. Amazing place. I would love to go back. And David was so accommodating and friendly, and I think that there's a lot more to discover there.
Yeah. And do they have many people? Many teams go there, or are you one of the? Would you one of the first ones?
The first one, wasn't it? It was the first one you said, I think.
I think they do the odd one here and there, but because when I spoke to my friend Lee a few weeks ago, he said that he'd been. I don't know how many years ago it was, but I just thought it flowed really well. Everybody was very understanding and accommodating. And there was the little barn. I didn't go. I didn't do the dairy. There was other rooms where I didn't. Even like the washing room, I didn't do anything in there. There were so many more rooms that I would have liked to have done stuff in, but the time just absolutely flew. And at the end of the night, I sort of managed to catch up with Luke, Gemma, Ryan, Cheryl, and Ian. I managed to catch up with them, and we sort of sat. I was facing out of the bedroom into the corridor filming. Still got to go through that footage, and it was just it was great, and it wasn't too cold either.
That was good.
No.
Sometimes you get quite cold venues, but it was nice because it hadn't been modernised.
Yeah.
It was, you could imagine it how it was back then.
Yeah, so each room was still in the period that it was it? And not modernised. It was just as it was, as a house or a working house or a respite or whatever. So that would be understand why you had contact with children there, wouldn't it? If that was the sort of widows and people that would go there with their children. So would they have come out of London, or was it just generally all over the country that they would go there?
I honestly don't know. Because the evening just absolutely flew. And I think there's even a book. I didn't even see the book, but there's a book with all the families' names in it or something. All the families there. Didn't even get to look at that.
So if you got a name, you could go and look it up on the family name. That's a good idea, isn't it?
Some of them did that. They got names come through, and they were in the book. The names were in the book.
Nice. And what about the whiteboard? Did you get people to write on there at all?
Yeah, that was cool.
That was it?
Cool, wasn't it?
Oh, nice.
People, joined in and wrote their bit on it, and
nice.
Yeah, it was just a great place. And even like that green dining room place, that room, didn't really go in there. There were so many rooms that you would have struggled to do an experiment in each room throughout the night. But people people went off and did their own thing. Some people in the dairy outside, some people were over in the barn, some people in the attic, and no one, you couldn't really hear anybody else really. It was just brilliant. I can't really praise it enough. It was a new venue, bit of a trek for us, but yeah, it was thoroughly enjoyed it.
It makes a big difference, doesn't it, when you get guests come along that know what they're doing and they're excited for the venue. And like you say, they go off and do their bits, don't they? And they're quite happy. It takes the pressure off yourself a little bit, doesn't it? To make sure that everybody's getting something or somewhere. You know, they take it off, and even newbies tag along, don't they, onto teams. And, you know, so it takes a little bit of pressure off you to make sure that you're wandering around seeing that everybody's okay. So when you've got good guests, it makes a massive difference to the investigation as well. I think the energy.
Yeah, I think Cheryl's group, they said that they're happy to take people around with them, and they said that they had, you know, various people come in and, you know, sort of like join in them, and then they'll go off and do other things. So I think it all worked out. It all worked out really well. You know, we said at the beginning that, you know, sadly Darren had, you know, he couldn't make it. And Angela was with Darren caring for him. So, you know, and it was just one of those. It couldn't be helped. You know, Darren was where he should be, and
absolutely.
Yeah.
But, you know, with our regulars, they all chipped in, and they all helped out under the circumstances, and
Nice.
It, you know, it's times like that when you really appreciate everybody around you, and you know what great friends they become over the years. You know, I've known Ian since, oh gosh, I think it must have been October 2016 or something like that. You know, and you know, you just build up these friendships over the years, don't you? And Emma, I've known her a long time. Cheryl, you know, Luke, I've also known a long time as well.
Yeah.
You know, you just build up the friendships over the years, and you know, they really did amazingly well on Saturday.
Good.
Everyone chipped in, everyone helped out. You know, even like from helping me get stuff out the car and helping me pack away at the end of the evening.
Yeah.
You know, it really was, you know, thoroughly appreciated. Really
That's
was.
good.
I've got some really good friends there.
Yeah. Tell us about your evening there, Luke.
Yeah.
Come on.
Actually, you know, at the end, at about 2 a.m, there's this weird man walking around in Wellington boots and like farmer's clothing on. He just kept staring at us. Cheryl was a bit, I don't know. Cheryl didn't really felt uncomfortable because he kept staring at us. I don't know where he come from. He just,
what, a real person or an apparition, or what was it?
yeah, he looked like a real person, but I'm not sure if he was.
Where was that then?
Near the car park behind the barn, I think it was. Outside the car park.
Sorry?
I think Julia saw him, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
Emma too.
I think another couple of people saw him as well.
Yeah.
Did you not go and talk to him, Luke, or go over to him? Or?
I feel a bit uncomfortable because didn't feel right. Didn't feel right, really.
What was it? What do you mean he was looking at you? Just stopped, or just
stopped.
What?
From a distance, stopped us, staring at us. He kept staring at us.
Right.
And thinks he was looking up at the farm at the end as well. Kept looking up at the farm. It's like 2 a.m. He didn't see people that time usually.
How old was he then? Was he like an old man or a young man?
Older. He's older, yeah.
50? Oh, can't. That's not old. Honestly, 50s is not old.
No.
Well rephrased there. You saved yourself there, Simon.
Well, bearing in mind, you know, Simon's quite close to that age.
I'm quite past that age, to be honest, and I'm glad you retracted that.
Old as in, let's say, we don't realise how old we get, do we? I would say an old man, like in his 70s, 80s.
No, probably
80s?
60. Maybe
80s.
60's not old.
Did you not ask the caretaker who he was, or if there was anybody that would?
We was leaving, going home to the car. Then we was
right.
It's right at the end of the night. Just weird atmosphere, strange.
And you didn't see him anywhere through the whole of the night until that Pacific time?
No, I don't think so. No, just that time.
No. Emma saw him as well. She smokes.
What time did Emma see him?
Emma saw him.
What time was that, Tim?
A little bit earlier than that. She said she saw a strange person out there when she went out for a cigarette, because you had to go off the site to have a cigarette.
Right.
And he was down by the white gates there where you come in. Yeah.
Right. What? And he was down there, or he was wandering around?
Yeah, she was down there. She just thought he was a local, like he was out for a walk, and at the time, and just wondering what was going on. I think, but I don't know.
Weird, isn't it?
He kept walking up and down, I think.
Yeah.
Was it what? Did you see the clothes he was wearing then?
Yeah, quite old clothes
I
actually. It was
did.
old clothes actually, yeah.
There was a man-
Like farmer's clothes, but old fashioned. Like,
What about the hat? Did he have a hat on, or
yeah, he had a cap on, yeah, like old fashioned cap on. He had, yeah,
what, like a flat cap, or
yeah, flat cap, yeah.
come on? Right.
And also, we were getting ready to leave, and David, the caretaker, was like chatting to some of us outside, and the car was like loaded up and everything. And as we're talking, I think the caretaker was talking about this ghost dog that's been seen, and he was like saying, "Oh, he's buried here. This is where he's buried." And Ryan said that he goes, "I've just seen a lady in the kitchen." And the caretaker just said, yeah, you will. And we knew that there was no one else in there. So Ryan actually saw what looked like possibly the cook in the kitchen. This was, I'd gone to in the morning. And David, the caretaker, would have been very happy to have just stayed there for, another hour and a half, just chatting. And he had loads of stories as well. He had, because he's been working there for over 10 years.
Oh, blimey.
And he looked like he was probably about in his early 60s. It's hard to judge, isn't it, nowadays?
Yeah.
And he had so much to say, so much interesting things to say on ghosts and things that he's seen over the years. And we could have like stayed there for at least another hour and a half chatting to him, well after 2:00. He was
But he
really
didn't-
interesting.
Nobody mentioned to him about the man wandering around, or he didn't mention it.
Not until like yesterday, really, that people started to discuss this man. One of the
Right.
ladies, Jenna, she sent me an email saying about, "Oh, I hope you're okay. I hope you didn't leave on your own," because there was like a man hanging about outside. And I said, "Oh no, David opened a gate for me, and I was able to drive out." And
Yeah.
I said, "But I didn't see anybody acting suspicious or anything like that when I left. So maybe he'd gone by then." But
Yeah.
she was actually quite concerned about, for me,
The safety.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Which is
But
understandable, isn't it?
I just said, "Oh, I was fine," and I just said, "I hope you both got home okay," and but yeah, so she said it, and then I didn't say anything to anybody, and then I think somebody mentioned it in our group chat, and I said, "Oh, hang on,
Yeah.
someone sent me an email about this." So I like copied a bit of the email and popped that in the group chat, and they said, "Oh yeah, Wellington boots. He was wearing Wellington boots." So everybody had sort of seen the same person. To be fair, about sort of like 2ish, there were a lot of people outside just walking about. I don't know whether there was somewhere nearby that just shut and they were making their way home. It was a
Right.
Saturday night. They weren't really noisy, but you could hear people sort of making their way home,
Right.
which seemed a bit weird, really, because it was like in the middle of nowhere. So you're like, well, where's all these people coming from?
Yeah.
And where are they going
Yeah.
to? So I don't know whether there was like a club or something nearby where they just shut around 2:00. Everyone's making their way home or something. But it was quite active outside at that time of night, which I found a bit strange.
Right.
But and it was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And there was people. Maybe all ghosts.
No, this man was different because there's two other men, and they were just like they were dressed in normal clothes like these days, but the other man was old fashioned clothes, different energy to it.
Right.
he wasn't with them either. They were walking on their own. He was on his own. The man.
Did you see facial features, or was the face black?
No, white hair. I think he had.
Right. And he never said anything, made a
No.
voice, anything, or
No, didn't
said
say nothing.
anything.
No, just stopped and stared. And Cheryl was staring at him for quite a while.
Right. All right.
They're staring at each other, and Gemma told Cheryl to go away because she was a bit nervous. Gemma's a bit
Yeah,
scared.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to tread a little bit careful, don't you, with things like that, just in case. It could be that he's a farmhand that's going out to do something in the sheds or make sure something's locked, or because they work all sorts of strange hours, them farmers anyway, don't they? You know, they'll be out in the early hours of the morning doing stuff with the cattle and all of that. But it seems strange that only a few people saw him. But you said you didn't get a good vibe from him, Luke, no?
No, weird energy it was. Wasn't the best energy, no.
In what way was it weird? How did describe to us how you felt it was weird then?
Just didn't feel that safe really. Didn't feel like he wasn't really here really, like he wasn't of this era and time.
Right.
Don't even come from a time slip or anything if that happened.
Right. But did anybody see him leave, or we just didn't see him again that night?
Didn't see him after that. No, just disappeared, I think.
He wasn't around when I left. I didn't notice anybody out of the ordinary hanging about.
Yeah. Did you see this man, Tim?
No, I didn't see him.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you didn't see anybody else sort of prior to him earlier in the day, earlier in the time? You know, a shadow, or did somebody see someone else moving around?
No, I didn't. There was like Julie said, there was a few people when we left the premises and went back to the car park, because the car park was a little way away from where you went in.
All right.
You know, so you had to walk up a little lane back to the car park. There's quite a few people about then with dogs. I saw a couple of people with dogs walking their dogs.
That
very
time of the
late.
morning?
Probably about 20 past 2. Probably about 20 past 2 by then.
That seems an odd time to go walking dogs, doesn't it? You can understand if you're in a town and chucking out time at the pub or the club, or you can understand that. But if you're in the middle of nowhere, how these people suddenly appeared?
It was in the middle of nowhere. I think there was like a few little houses nearby. But even sort of like at 2:00 when I was out sort of packing my car up, I noticed like little groups of people just walking past the gate, and I thought, you know, it's in the middle of nowhere, but maybe there's a little like village hall that's had a bit of a do on or something.
Yeah.
You know, and people are making their way back home, but you know, I thought, well, they, you know, must have a bit of a walk, but maybe they're just used to walking. No one seemed overly tipsy or anything. Nobody was over loud or anything. They were just sort of like walking past and just chit-chatting. But yeah, the reason why the caretaker decided to, I think he said it was quite muddy. If you were to come from the car park across the manor house, he said it was going to be, you know, quite muddy or something. So it's like concerned for people's, you know, getting too muddy or, you know, slipping or whatever. So that's why he said, you know, come out the car park and walk along the road and come through the white gate.
Right.
I think it was only because, you know, it was a little bit rainy, a little bit wet and muddy. And I think that's why he said, you know, to do that. And it was sort of like a last minute sort of like change of plan to ask people to walk around the road, just because it's like a little bit muddy. That night.
I suppose he didn't want to traipse it all through the house, and because it would have been on your boots and all sorts, wouldn't it? You know, the last thing you want to do is traipse it through the house. So, in the scheme of things, was the house a working farm in its heyday, or was it just a respite farm, or is it an actual working farm for the village?
I believe it was. It's got like a dairy. It's got 2 barns. There's pig pens. I think in the back garden, another bit of the garden, there's some like chickens or something. But there's lots of apple trees, and I think it was like a sort of like a general sort of like farm sort of in the middle of nowhere. They may have like scaled down the fields now, but
Would you
it
know
just
if there was a yew tree there?
it was quite dark by the time I think it started
Right.
at 8. I got there at 7, and it was starting to get dark then, and we just
Sure.
looked around the house and the outbuildings and everything. So but we got to like the second floor, and David the caretaker said, oh, if you look out of there, and we couldn't really see anything, but he said, if you look out of there, he goes, over on the left there's all these ancient apple trees. And I said, I'd like to come back maybe in the summer when the evenings are a little bit lighter, and just to sort of like spend a bit more time sort of looking around the garden, and that would have been lovely.
I think someone's just put a comment on there. It's just whizzed on my screen and gone off. Can anybody see the comments?
No.
Ian Bailey, before we entered the barn, I was convinced someone was there. We approached the barn and it was open fully, thinking something or other. So they obviously picked up on someone there as well in the barn.
Yeah, that was the barn. The door. We thought the door opened by itself, but it wasn't overly windy. But it kind of kept opening the door. It was strange.
As in someone coming in, or someone moving it, or just?
No, it was a little bit breezy, but not enough to open the doors.
Right.
When we walked past it, opened. When we walked past it, then we decided to go in there.
What was in the barn? Old tractors or old carts, or what was actually in there? I can't actually see the comments. I don't know whether Simon, you could see them. I can't quite see them.
Sorry, I was just reading through the comments.
I can't see them.
Yeah,
No.
Mark says evening. Christine says evening. Emma says evening. Emma says it's incredible. They like drawing. Didn't like the cat. Mark said, "Oh, did you find your rod?" No, I need to maybe have another look through my bag. The glass fell over as well. Emma also said those two ladies said they had a lovely time. They loved how relaxed it was.
Brilliant.
For those that haven't been with us before, we don't do scheduling or anything. We literally just run very relaxed events, and we give you the freedom to do your own investigating, because that's what it's about. If people go off and they find stuff, and they find sort of evidence of activity, then that's what we want. We want everyone to go home and feel like they've caught something, no matter how big or small. Gemma said it was a really good event. Daniel said, "Hey guys, I'm sorry I've been called away. I would have joined you though. Hope you have a good night, good life." Yeah, thanks, Daniel.
Thank
Emma
you,
said,
Daniel.
"Great spoken in Oxford." And someone said, "You absolutely smashed it, Julia." I'm guessing that's Gemma.
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Thank you, Gemma, and thank you to everybody that helped me on the night. It really was appreciated.
It's nice to get positive feedback, isn't it, for a change? Because when you're doing that event, and like we said before, it's not an easy thing to run. Especially when your main man's not very unwell.
My main man, I know.
And then you get some really nice feedback. It's worth it, isn't it? It makes it all worthwhile, really.
How stressed and anxious I was. The thought of doing it on my own. I've always got Darren beside me. And yourself, Paul, and it's just so to know that you've got friends there that say, look, don't worry, it'll be fine. We'll do this to help you. And you're like, wow, thank you so much. It's just like, it's just amazing. It's not the same without Darren.
No.
But
you can get EVPs without Darren.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ryan. Sorry, Ryan said you absolutely smashed it, Julia. Thank you, Ryan, and thank you for your help, Ryan, as well on Saturday. Really did appreciate that. Really did.
That's good when you've got backup like that, isn't it? Unfortunately, we were away for the weekend. Otherwise, we'd have been up there and definitely would have helped. Obviously, Jen's not well because she's now got pneumonia, so she's clearly very unwell at the moment. But any other time, we'll always be there. You know that. We've had this discussion before. You know, why the big man's getting himself together. He's no need to rush, Eddie, to get back. You know, we want him back, but we want him back well.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not going anywhere. The events are not going anywhere. You know, if he misses an event, you know, 9 times out of 10, you'll go back anyway, won't you? So
Yeah, if we've had a really good night, yeah, we'll go. Police station was a good one.
yes,
Would
yeah.
like to go back there at some point. But we'll definitely revisit. And we've got some good venues coming up, haven't we? So
Yes,
you know,
quite
there's
excited to go to Widley. I've never been to Widley before,
That's good. Yeah.
or Wimmering. So I'm looking forward
Yes.
to doing that. Obviously, unfortunately, Jen can't make them two, but I'll be there. I'll be there. So I'm quite excited to go to Widley as a fault. I've been to Fort Nelson, but never, and I've done the fault in Felixstowe. You know, a place called Langar Fort, which was really, really good. But I'm looking forward to going to Fort
Widley.
and Widley and you know, and Wimmering, because I've heard so much about them two locations from people that have been. So I'm quite excited to sort of go, and I'll bring Robbie the robot with me. Give him a try. Give Robbie a run out.
Says that his SLS camera turned up today, so
Oh, nice.
that's brilliant news because I'm looking forward to seeing that in action and seeing what you get on that, Ryan. So yeah, that's really good. Really looking forward to seeing that working.
I could always power my one up and bring that if you need more than one. You know, welcome to use. I've got one here. I'll bring Robbie the robot. Do a bit of interact, see what happens with him there. Be interesting to
get to
see.
use my SLS camera. I didn't even get to use that on Saturday. It was so busy and it just flew, absolutely flew. But yeah, we'll do Robbie. Maybe get him down in the tunnels. And hopefully, Darren will be able to join us. I think it's about 4 weeks or so from now. So hopefully Darren will be there. If not, maybe we'll see him at Wimmering. But you know, we just want him to get better and to be back on form. You know, we miss the jokes.
Yeah.
What,
Miss the jokes.
is that what they're called? Jokes?
I think they're jokes. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're going. Yeah,
but,
we do. Yeah, he is missed, but you know, he's in a place where he needs to be.
Darren,
And
Mark Ricketts missed you, and he brought Fee along as well. So it was lovely to meet Fee. Mark wasn't too sure how she was going to react, whether she'd be scared, but I think she got a little bit creeped out up in the attic. But I think overall, I think she did enjoy herself. She did enjoy seeing what we did and everything. So hopefully she'll be more of a regular and come along with Mark a little bit more often. Oh,
nice.
Mark says you missed the jokes? Question mark. Yeah, we did miss. We did miss Darren's jokes. Yes.
Evening, Mark. Welcome.
Even if we
welcome
do
along.
pretend to laugh at them, we did miss them.
Yeah. We do.
Oh,
we do
and
miss
Fee
him.
loved it. Mark says Fee loved it. So
Nice.
yeah, we loved meeting her too. She's a lovely lady.
Thing is, it's not, you know, when you have all this interaction and all these things going on, it's not always scary. People get the wrong idea from the TV that it's scary, and you know, and we know ourselves have been in the paranormal world a long time, haven't we? It's not always scary, is it? It's always quite relaxed, and you know, the atmosphere is really nice in there. So you know you're not going to meet anything malevolent within it, because you already know the feeling. Like Tim was saying, the house felt nice and comfortable, and you know, it's a good history, and you know, it makes you a bit more relaxed, doesn't it? You know, it doesn't feel sinister or scary, or you know, people see all this stuff on TV, bearing in mind the first words they say is for entertainment purposes only. You know, that gives you a clue of where they're going with that. But you know yourself, when you've had contact and things happen and knocks and bangs, it's not always that it makes you jump, but it's not always scary. You think, oh, you know, and you enjoy getting that contact. And people think it's, you know, you run out screaming and everybody's running around, but you know, it's very rare that happens. Yeah,
sometimes it depends what happens, but yeah, sometimes we can get a bit like that.
Yeah, I mean that night of the Lamb, when it all kicked off at the Lamb, when we were upstairs, I mean that was a bit like that. It was women screaming and jumping over tables and beds and chairs, and you know, that was
Those eyes, Emma's eyes, when they were like,
oh,
that
they were
was, I've
something
never
else.
seen. That was just scary. And when
Yeah.
those eyes turned pure white, and that's when I was just like, I'm out of here. I don't normally get freaked out by stuff, but I'm just like, you know, Emma and Tracy are really, really sort of like professional at doing that. They're very
Oh,
good. That's their
yeah.
main thing that they do is the skyring, and they're just like really good experts at it. They did a really good job, and
Yeah.
you
When
could just
we
see.
sat there,
I took
we
loads
sat
of
there.
photos of Emma doing the skyring in the mirror, and I just said, just take loads and loads and loads of those photos. And when I looked through them next day, there's pictures Emma. Then there's like a black picture, Emma. Then just like a black plain picture, Emma. And I thought, there's no way you'd get just a black
Blank. No.
blank picture. But yeah, that was.
Yeah, that was another level
Sometimes
when we were.
we think, oh, you know, it scares us, but
Yeah, I've done a few mirror scrying in the years I've done, but that was another level. With the eyes looking around the room, but her head didn't move. It was just the creepiest thing you've ever seen. And you know, Jenna will tell you that because everybody's going, "Oh my god!" You know, they were just top level scryers. You know, it was fascinating to watch them. You know, and you could see her face changing when the sideburns appearing and a little moustache and you know, and can you look around the room and her head's dead still, but her eyes were moving around the room. That's really creepy. I must admit, I was sitting right behind him thinking, "Oh, this is creepy," you know, because you just don't see that often, do you? You know, because you've got to look beyond your own face into the mirror. But they're so good at it. It was really, I was really impressed with that one in that room. They're very good. Knew what they were doing. You know how to bring it forward and bring it forward in such a way that everybody could see it as well, not just them sitting, you know, in their third eye. That everybody in the room was looking in the mirror, and you could just see it change. You know, and
they
that
need to come
takes
more, don't they? They need to come
yeah,
more.
definitely. You know, that takes some doing to do that. You know, and I'm seriously impressed with the way they did it. You know, absolutely brilliant. And even you get one person do it, and then the other lady did it, and she was just as good. You know, you think, oh my god, they're both doing it. It must be quite creepy in their own house, mustn't it? You wouldn't want to look in the mirror with them, would you? Or share a mirror?
Was it a normal? Was it a normal mirror, or was it one of
Yeah.
those? They use black mirrors as well, don't they?
No,
Black
it was a normal
mirrors.
mirror. Yeah, it was a normal mirror
Ah.
hanging up on the wall, and it's
Right.
you looking at the mirror in front of you. There was a bed to the right of you, and then a few chairs and a little table. And we had we were doing table tipping in the room, and that was going really well for quite a long time. And then I was sort of filming it like you do, wandering around filming. Then suddenly it just stopped. It literally just stopped, and then you knew something was going to happen because.
I said to you, what did you say?
What?
I said to you, are you standing up?
Jen said to me, because I then retreated back into the bathroom, the shower, you know, the bathroom in the other room. And Jen said to me, are you standing up? And I went, no. And then suddenly, whatever it was literally standing in the room with them. Probably like Simon was saying, that black, whatever it was in the room. I saw it.
could see
Jen saw it. Dora saw it. And then Jen saw it in the mirror, and I saw it from the bathroom and went to get up. And it was like someone was holding me down, so I couldn't get up. And I thought, let go. I'm going, get off me. And then it was just like people, tables going, chairs falling over, everything was going off because, you know, that split second, everybody saw the same thing. Even the lady doing the mirror scribe, even when I went into the room, they were like over the other side of the bed trying to get out and, you know, trying to hide outside, sort of trying to take shelter on the bed and that with Jen and Dora and a couple of other people. So, you know, and then we did the mirror scrying shortly after that, and it was just so creepy to see. You know, you hear of these things, don't you? You know, people say, yeah, their face changed and he looked different, but having physically sat there and watched it and saw it, you know, you think, oh my god, how can this happen? How could somebody start to change? And I just sort of sat there in awe, really, watching his face literally change. It was such a. If you ever get chance, Tim, and these two ladies go, you've got to watch them do this scry,
Yeah.
and Julia will testify.
I'd like
It's just another level, aren't they? Just absolutely another level.
I don't think I can concentrate for that long. My mind is all over the place, and I sort of like here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
I just can't concentrate for that amount of time. But yeah, if you're really good at concentrating, then I'd be happy to sit with you and to give it a go. Happy to like sit, and all the messages are coming through now. I can
Oh
just see
yeah,
them like coming
it
up.
might be the
Yeah,
Darren's pushing them through. Could be he's put them up. Strange folk in
yeah.
Oxford.
I'm seeing them all now. Yeah.
Yeah, they just come
Well, that
through.
was from ages
I think Darren might have just dropped on and just put them on there.
ago.
No, it's right, not Gemma. Right, yeah. But it sounded like your Saturday night was a good night and everybody enjoyed it, which was a really
Oh yeah.
nice to hear it tonight. That it went well and everybody had a good time.
Yeah, I hope
It's obviously
Tim and his family will come and join us again soon. Maybe
Yeah.
come down to, I think our next one's Widley in April, which is always a really good venue, as Luke will agree with me.
Yeah.
Always a good venue. I've got some ghost photos if anyone's interested. I'm more than happy to bore people with my ghost photos.
They never get
so-
boring, Simon. They never
Oh,
get boring.
give me a shout, and I've got loads of
No.
photos to show you.
It'd be nice to meet you, Tim.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to come down. It's in the Widley's in Portsmouth, isn't it?
It is, yes. A little bit of a trek
Yeah.
for you.
It's about 3.5 hours from here, so we'd have to stay over if we can. I think we have to
Maybe
find
make
somewhere
a
to stay
weekend
over.
of it. Maybe make a weekend of
Yeah.
it, and maybe make a weekend of it, or maybe some people like to go a little bit earlier. Did you manage to have catch up with Mark and Fee? Did they go to the Griffin, the pub?
They did, but but we didn't see them in there. It was absolutely rammed in there. They've had a darts match or something. But it was a nice little pub, and we got nice food in there, reasonable price. So yeah, it was
Well, that
good.
was good.
But no, I never saw anyone from the group in there at all. We was
Oh,
like round the back out the way. Yeah,
well, maybe if you do decide to come down, pop something in the group, and maybe a few
Yeah.
of us can come a little bit earlier and have a bit of a catch up before the event. I know
Yeah.
that
That'd be good.
I know Gemma and Cheryl and that they normally like to have a meal before the event, and
Yeah.
there's lots of places down sort of Portsmouth
Keep going
area.
through the night. Yeah,
We
yeah.
often
We've
do
been to
that, and
Fareham a fair bit.
we've done it before
Been down
where
Fareham a fair bit.
we've done it before where we've had an event and then gone out for like Sunday dinner lunch, haven't we? The next day, and obviously chatted and had a bit of a laugh about what went on, and it's actually
Yeah.
nice to get the group together after or even before, with Gemma and Cheryl and Zoe and obviously Simon, everybody from the main groups that go. Yeah, that all get together, have something to eat, and just have a chat before we go into the venue or the following day. Most times we stay down there anyway because we're a good couple of hours away, so we always find a B&B and stay down there. But now we've got the
Yeah.
caravan, we can pull that out and pitch that up somewhere, and we don't have to go a 2.5 hour drive home. So it'd be nice to have a weekend. But often,
Yeah.
like I say, we have a meal before, or the following day we go out for lunch, and it's good fun. It's a good laugh, and it's like not team building, but it's good to see everybody outside of that location.
Yeah, it's building friendships, isn't it? And getting
It
to know
is.
everybody. And
That's exactly what it's about.
when we run an event, we're very much sort of like, not pressurized, but you feel there's some pressure to ensure that everybody has a reasonably good event and enjoys themselves.
Yeah.
Mark Ricketts said he can do a weekend, so that'd be great. It'd be good to see you, Mark.
Yeah.
But I think meeting up outside of an event, either like before the event for a meal, or even if you just poke your head in, just to say hello and have a Coke or something like that. it's just it builds friendships, doesn't it?
It-
And good
absolutely.
long-standing friendships as well, which is I believe that's we've got that in our group, which is good.
Definitely. Definitely.
No one's better than anybody else. Everybody's out there to get the same thing. Everyone's out there to get the same. If someone can get a bit of EVP, if someone can get a photo, yeah, you might be a bit envious, thinking, God, I wish that was mine. But everybody's out there to get the same thing. And, at the end of the day, we're all in it together. We're all in it to find out the
Absolutely.
same things. I do.
If someone gets a good
Darren,
EVP,
we just
somebody,
guide it. We're just
Yeah.
there to help people if they need anything, to get anything going. We're
But-
just there to help everyone.
but you there, even we get a good EVP or a photo, you share it as a group. It's not one person.
Yes.
You just share it to everybody. So everybody has had a part of
Yeah.
that voice phenomena, that picture, etc. You share it because you share within the group. So everybody's a part of it. It's not one person
Yeah, that
getting everything. It's everybody getting everything.
that
Right, what I
whiteboard's
wanna-
a good idea. The white.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good thing to have to see the activity of different people getting
Yeah.
around.
Everybody put. Yeah,
Right.
see what's happening. Yeah.
Just
Right,
quickly,
guys,
we've been on
I'm going to
56
end the
minutes.
live in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, so I'm just going to
Phone's
say
nearly
goodbye.
flat.
So
So,
we want to say thank you for joining us this evening, and we need the big man back.
Yeah.
Get on here, but you get well soon, Darren, and we're sending all
Cheers,
our
mate.
love and healing. Get
Mhm.
well soon. We can't wait to see you again. Thank you everybody for your comments on here tonight. Hope you enjoyed the live talking about the recent paranormal investigation with Paranation. So go onto their website, have a look, see what's coming up. Come and join us, see us in person, and see how good looking we are in the real flesh. I can assure you we're better looking there than we are here. We seem to have square heads here, but with just a big thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We've been plugging away at this, myself and Darren and Simon and the rest of the team for a while now, and it's just starting to come together. So from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you, and just a big get well soon, big man, and keep in contact. Do
Get well
as the
soon.
doctors
Speak soon.
tell you. Yeah, do as them doctors tell you. So it's good night
Yeah,
from all of us, and good night from Darren, wherever he is. So we'll all say good night, and we'll see
Night,
you next week
everybody.
soon. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.